Good morning. Welcome to Carolina Center for Spiritual Awakening Sunday morning service. Whoever you are and wherever you're from, we're glad you're here, and we hold you in the light of love and see the truth of you. I see you for the light that you are. I see you for the love that you are. I see you for the light that you are. I see your light, I see your love, I see who you are. And I am seeing you dancing along in my mind's eye, seeing you singing along, maybe even tagging someone and telling them you see the light in them and the love. I see you for the light that you are. I see you for the love that you are. Oh, I see you for the light that you are. I see your light, I see your love, I see who you are. I see you for the light that you are. I see you for the love that you are. Oh, I see you for the light that you are. I see your light, I see your love, I see who you are. I see your light, I see your love, I see who you are. Yeah, we see you. And we are so grateful that you're with us this morning. We are a beloved community originating out of Charlotte, North Carolina, Huntersville, North Carolina, and the surrounding areas, and now reaching all over. So wherever you are streaming from this morning, we are so glad that you tuned in to us. Know that we are tuned into love here at Carolina Center for Spiritual Awakening. So let's drop down into our heart space. If you're not there already, let's go there. If you're already there, let's take it deeper. Let's move into that place of knowing that love is flowing through me. The divine love that created all out of itself. That divine intelligence, that divine love by the many names. It is moving through us now. So take a moment and just become still. And allow this truth to really sink in. That love flows through me and light shines through me. Peace pours through me. Love flows through me. Love flows through me. Strong and stronger, infinitely I feel love Peace pours through me. Peace pours through me. Strong and stronger, infinitely I feel peace pour through me. Through me. Through me. I feel this peace pouring through me now. This light shining through me, this love flowing through me, expressing as me. I know it is the love and the light and the peace and the joy and the perfection of the divine that created me. And I know as this is the truth of my being, it is the truth for each of us that we are made in the image and the likeness of the Most High. So recognizing that I am one with that we are all connected through this flow of love and peace and light and joy. This intelligence, this co-creative nature. Knowing this, I speak my word this morning, claiming for each of us an open ear to hear, an open mind to expand our consciousness to a new idea of self, a new idea of the divine that is beyond what we've even known until now. I claim for us an expansion of consciousness that allows room for growth, a growth that is steeped in willingness and openness, and a faith in the one and only source and supply of our good. So I know for each of us this morning that we rest in this truth and allow it to be the truth that it is moving through us. I know that I am. I am the light and the love, the strength and the love of the divine. We are each these beautiful individualizations. I'm so grateful to know this truth and to open to being this more fully in my life. Saying, flow through me, use me, allow me to be a light. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. I am holy light. I am holy light. I am holy light. I am one with God. I am holy light. I am holy light. I am holy light. I am one with God.
Good morning, CCSA. My name is Renee Hughes, and I'm doing the reading for this morning. My reading is from Mark Nepo's book titled The Book of Awakening. He starts this passage with a quote from Goethe. So long as you haven't experienced this, to die and so to grow, you are only a troubled guest on the dark earth. To die is not a bad thing. Cells die every day. Paradoxically, it is how the body lives. Casings shed, coverings fall away, new growth appears. It is how we stay vital. Likewise, ways of thinking die like cells, and we suffer greatly when we refuse to let what's growing underneath make its way as a new skin of our lives. It is the stubbornness with which we refuse to let what's growing underneath come through that pains us. It is the fear that nothing is growing underneath that feeds our despair. It is the moment that we cease growing in any direction that is truly deadly. When resisting this process, we become a troubled guest, moaning like a human crow. We double the pain of living when we try to stop the emergence that all life goes through. Imagine if trees never shed their leaves, or if waves never turned over, or if clouds never dumped their rain and disappeared. I say this as much to remind myself as you. Little deaths prevent big deaths. What matters most is waiting its turn underneath all that is expending itself to prepare the way. Sit quietly and consider the many selves you have been. As you breathe evenly, consider how the new self has always been growing underneath the old. Now close your eyes and meditate on the newness growing within you right now. As you breathe steadily, relax your grip on the habits of your mind that might be blocking your growth. Namaste.
Plant the seed and deal with the dirt on the way to the bloom. My friend Dr. Shannon South said that recently. I heard her say that. I'm not sure where the original quote came from, but I loved it. Plant the seed and deal with the dirt on the way to the bloom. A lot of times, though, we don't even want to head to that bloom. Actually, we want to, but we stop ourselves short of fully blooming. And I was thinking about some things that keep us stuck in the dirt. We're going to talk about how good the dirt is in a minute, but sometimes we stay stuck in that dirt, not wanting to bloom. And one of the biggest reasons that we do that, you see, we go through life and we create patterns. We go through our lives with our friends, our families, our spouses, our jobs, our coworkers, whatever, and we have these patterns. We show up in a certain way. People get used to us showing up in a certain way. And then when we start to act differently, because that's what we do, we are forever changing and evolving beings. And so when we start to act differently, someone says, hey, you're not acting like yourself, meaning you're not playing the role that you're supposed to play here. I mean, it says right here, this is how you're supposed to, you're not following my script, right? So a lot of times, one of the things that keeps us stuck in the dirt and not reaching for the sun and blooming in our lives is because we are not taking the risk to be different. We're staying in that same pattern. Are you holding back? So that's my first question for you this morning. Are you holding back who you really are so you can be who others want you to be, or who others have counted on you being up until this moment, right? They expect a certain thing, so you follow that, you fill that role. So that's my first question for you this morning. Are you allowing yourselves the opportunity of constantly becoming? Or are you trying to stay in this plateau of safety? I remember at my first Asilomar conference, which was a beautiful conference that Centers for Spiritual Living hosted at on the coast of California for years and years and years. And I was there at my very first one. I was in my early 30s, and there was a minister there I just met, and she was in her late 70s. And I remember asking her, this wise, deep well, a question about something, and I was expecting her to come back and say, this is the definitive truth. And she came back and she says, honey, I give everybody a Southern accent. I don't think she was Southern. But anyway, she says, honey, I don't even know everything I know yet. And I was like, wait, but you're like in your late 70s. You should know everything by now. That's what I was thinking. She said, I don't even know everything I know yet. How cool. One of my first glimpses into a sage who understood what it means to truly be a sage in your own life to yourself. And that is the ability to continually learn, the ability to be that, what the Taoists say, in the don't know, to be in that place of don't know, allowing your growth, welcoming change, welcoming not knowing, and definitely welcoming not acquiescing to someone else's idea of how your bloom needs to be. So let's go back to the bloom here. Let's go back to the seed and the dirt and all that good stuff. A seed needs 3 things to bloom: the right temperature, moisture, and light. So the right temperature, that may sound like cut and dry. It's, X amount of degrees and boom, we got it. But what that means to me is as I apply it to the spiritual journey, because we need those same 3 things: the right temperature, moisture, and light. But the temperature is really more than just the degrees. It's if you like to plant, you look at, if you find a bush that you like, let's say, or a tree, some kind of shrub, flower, whatever, and you see it somewhere and you look up what it is and you want to plant it in your yard. First thing you're going to do is you're going to look up the zone, the growing zone that it falls in, right? So the temperature, it goes by these zones, these growing zones. So if we apply these 3 things to the spiritual journey, us needing those 3 things as well. Temperature is about location, our environment, our climate, our environment, right? The soil that we are steeped in. We need 3 things to bloom: the right temperature, or the right location, the right environment, the right soil. And then we definitely need that moisture, which is nourishment, but it's more than that. When a seed is moisturized, it receives that water. That's when it softens, right? So water is spiritual truth. We need that, but we also need to be open to it, open to softening, open to letting the barnacles fall away and not building more, open to letting things continually grow us, open to softening. It's so easy to want to go into this place of armoring up, when really what we're called to do is continually soften. So the right temperature, the moisture. I'm thinking about a softening. All of a sudden it popped in my head. I thought of a story of softening. Continually softening, being willing to be soft. It's so tempting. I have, I think, the best relationship I've ever seen. I'm so blessed and so grateful for my loving relationship with my wife. And even us, we had an opportunity recently where we were talking about something and I was here, she was here, and and I thought, oh man, this might be one of those times we have to just sweep this under the rug. Something I absolutely have always said, never, no lumpy rugs in this house. But in that, for just a split second, I thought, just a little tiny lump wouldn't hurt. And then I was like, no. And we turned in to a solution together. We turned in and we said, absolutely not. We both admitted, I'm feeling really, really tempted to want to have a little tiny lump over here and just say we never talk about this again. Let's just move on. And right now in this moment, I can't even remember what it was. In that moment, it seemed so big, but right now, talking to you, I can't even remember what it was. I just know that we made a conscious decision to soften. We made a conscious decision not to put a lump under the rug, not to put a piece of armor on. We made a conscious decision. So being these spiritual seeds that we are, we need the right environment, that right moisture. But more than the moisture, what the moisture does, we need the willingness, the allowing of the opening, of the softening. And then the light, of course we need the light, but the light is always there. We need to lean toward the light, lean toward spiritual truth, be willing to change, willing to grow. So if we're being willing to grow, sometimes, we say, okay, I'm willing. Okay, I'm still willing. Okay, I'm willing to have a new experience. And then we get impatient and we go back to the old way of doing things. Did you know seeds, they wait. They wait. Every tree was once a seed that waited. They wait until the perfect conditions to all three of those things are just right. I read about a lotus seed that some scientists found, and they coddled it into opening and blooming. And then they did this, I forget what it's called. It's like carbon dating. It's called radiocarbon, I think. But anyway, they dated it. On the shell, they tested it. And it was over 2,000 years old. Over 2,000 years old, this seed had just been hanging out in a peat moss bog somewhere in China, waiting for the perfect conditions to bloom. So we have that opportunity to look around and say, okay, where am I rushing through things? Remembering that urgency is not of spirit. Urgency is not of spirit. Say that with me. Urgency is not of spirit. Urgency. The urging of spirit is never urgent. How about that? I'll say it that way. The urging of spirit is never urgent. These urgent feelings, let us be a little more like, I don't want you to have to wait 2,000 years, but let us be a little more like the lotus seed and wait for the right conditions. But that doesn't mean we wait and we let life pass us by and we're like, oh, well, my conditions just haven't shown up yet. No, you see, we are active participation. We're in active participation. We actually have the opportunity anyway to be in active participation with creating those conditions, with paying attention to the soil that we're in, the environment that we're in. What are we steeped in, planted ourselves in? Are we planting ourselves surrounded by negativity, surrounded by anything other than the ones that will lift us up and light our flame and see the truth of us? Are we creating the perfect moisturizing condition of the seed by allowing the moisture in, allowing the truth in, allowing the love in, and allowing the love back out, softening? Are we leaning toward the light of truth? So we are in active participation is what we're being called to do. Being in active participation, you see, that's when that seed, it softens and the roots go down and the shoot comes up. And the next thing you know, it's coming up. We've all been there, right? When it comes up, we're like, yeah, we're growing. Oh, and then we hit the hard soil on top. We're like, oh man, Don't stop. Keep going. And you'll push through that dirt. But then guess what? You'll be that little seedling with the little dirt cap, the little hat of dirt. You'll be like, man, where is this? What's up with this dirt? It's still here. It's still here. Yeah, it's still here. We deal with the dirt on the way to the bloom. When I heard that quote, immediately I was like, oh, that is us. We deal with the old paradigm every time we're trying to bloom into a new experience. The old paradigm comes up and says, whoa, 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 whoa. No, that's too good to be true. Oh, you can't believe in that. You can't do that. Who do you think you are? Right? The old paradigm will argue for its existence on our way to a new bloom, on our way to a new expression of who and how we're here to be. So another example with my lovely wife, we were talking about relationships, our relationship, and we were just being in gratitude for it. And we were talking about how in our lives, both of us, we had many times in our lives where we were with people and we would have this experience of being blindsided. Like we would think everything was great and then we would just be blindsided. Like they would break up over nothing or get upset over something that we were like, what? Wait, huh? I don't know what you're talking about. And we talked about that, how we both shared that experience. And then we dug deeper and we realized it was because in those examples in our past, we were with people who, even though we were having experiences that looked harmonious, in their hearts, they were not looking at the old paradigm and saying, get thee behind me, Satan. Get thee behind me, error thinking. They were looking at the old paradigm when it would come up and say, oh, I don't know, you can't trust this. They would look at the old paradigm and choose to prove that was true in their own mind. Course in Miracles says we come in with our beliefs fully intact and then we seek to prove them. So it's about changing that old belief, that old paradigm when we have something coming up that's wanting to drag us back out of the light and the truth and the power and the glory that we're here to experience and to be and to share. Then it's our opportunity right then in that moment to say no to the old paradigm, shaking off the dirt and moving on to the next blooming experience, allowing ourselves to fully bloom. But now I want you to recognize that when I talk about this dirt and shaking off the dirt and the old paradigm, this is not something to resist and be like, ooh, yuck, I don't want the old paradigm on me. It is fuel for the flame. It is fuel for the transformation. It is fuel. And we want to be grateful for it and value the process of becoming. Because when I say becoming, we're always becoming. Remember that. It's not like, oh, I have arrived. No, we're always arriving. We're always becoming the next version of ourselves. And so it takes sometimes, I just had a wonderful vacation, and it takes sometimes stopping, and unplugging and just taking time to really value the whole process and to just really sink in and allow life to be sweeter and sweeter and sweeter. I just want to say thank you to our leadership at Carolina Center for Spiritual Awakening who held down the fort, took care of all the things, and really allowed me to sink into unplugging. I'm so grateful. And I needed that. It was wonderful. We're like computers like that. The saying of everything is like a computer or your modem for your Wi-Fi. Every time you call tech support for that, they're going to say, well, unplug it, wait, and then plug it back in. Just unplug it, wait, and then plug it back in and see how everything works. We're the same. We need to unplug. Just wait, be still, and then plug it back in. But it's important, back to this old paradigm thing, that we plug in looking at it correctly and not shaming ourselves for having an old paradigm. Everybody has an old pattern, right? So it's important that when we plug in, that we plug it in correctly. I remember going down to a music store I used to shop at a lot when I lived in Rock Hill, and I bought these little speakers. And these little speakers, they would fit in the palm of my hand, and they replaced ones that were like 75 pounds each. And so I was so excited. My friend Tim, he sold me on this sound system. I had a big subwoofer that was still only like 20 pounds and these little speakers. And so I was like, okay, my back is grateful. My chiropractor approves. Okay, this is good. And so I took it. They sounded great in the store. And then I took them home, and they sounded terrible. And I thought, What, did I dream that it sounded good? So anyway, I go back down there to the store. Woody's Music, Rock Hill's still there. I go back down to the store. I'm like, Tim, man, you got to help me out here. I don't know what's wrong with this thing. I mean, I thought I was sold on it, but now it just sounds like not good. And he goes, yeah, let me hear it. So I get it out, I set it up, I plug it in. He gets up and Tim never goes anywhere in a hurry. He saunters over. He unplugs. Oops, I shouldn't be there. Sorry. He unplugs, he switches, he plugs back in. And boom, the music, because music was playing, but it wasn't coming through. All of a sudden, the music is so loud, people are leaving the store. He just kind of smiles and chuckles and says, yeah, that's it's on the house. No charge for that repair. I had it plugged in wrong. That's all. So when we look at our old paradigm, when we look at the dirt that we are busting up through and think, oh, thank God I'm out of that nasty dirt, we're not seeing the value of it. We're not seeing that it's fuel for the transformation. It's fuel for the fire of our growth and our next becoming. And that's important. It's important that we shift that perspective. I'm not talking about toxic positivity. Please hear me on this. I'm not talking about just, oh, everything's fine, everything's great, the house is burning down around you. And like, no, it's good, it's just a little warm in here. No, we don't teach toxic positivity. We teach a practical positive spirituality, and there's a very big difference. It's important to feel our feelings. It's important to honor them. But I'm talking about making sure that when we can shift that perspective and see the fuel that our past has been to our new becoming, that we honor that so that we can stop resisting it and start using it. Our friend, and I say our friend because he's a friend of our community here, and that's Eddie Watkins Jr., a wonderful musician that we've had with us before. He posted something on Facebook this week, and he was just sharing candidly about having a moment where he was feeling, like it wasn't his best day. And as he's writing, he's saying, but as I'm talking about it, and as I'm being honest about it, and I'm being open about it, it's feeling better. It's feeling more like, instead of it's terrible out there, it's feeling like out there is just being seen through glasses with smudges on them. And I really just need to, excuse me, I just need to clean my glasses. So as he's typing, you can see his train of thought, and it goes, need to clean glasses, smudge on glasses, pass the Windex, this too shall pass, it's passing now. Never mind. That's the thing about shifting the perspective. Unplugging, waiting, plugging back in correctly with that shift in perspective that allows us to see that the dirt is not something to escape. The old paradigm is not something to run from, because what we resist persists. It's something to see and to use and to value. My sister-in-law and her family are moving into a new home, and she told Angie the other day, she goes, I'm taking that dirt. And we were like, what? Do you know how much chicken poop is in that dirt? There's a lot of compost in there. There's worms. I have conditioned that soil. I'm packing that dirt. I said, you pack your poop, sister. You go ahead. She has been composting, right? And taking care of this soil, and it grows amazing food in her garden. And so she's like, I am taking my dirt. So that is valuing what if we looked at our past experiences as compost, right? Yeah, there's a lot of crap in there, but that's okay, because it's fuel for the transformation. It's okay because it is food for the bloom. It is important that we value that we love the dirt, that we love ourselves, that we love the process, and let that love lead us. And again, not in a toxic positivity way. Feel it to move through it. Feel it. We're not running from it. We're using it. We're embracing it. We're welcoming everything and moving to the next level of living. I say flip the script a lot. It's something that I say when I'm talking about and I'm seeing something in a negative way. I flip it to what do I really want to experience in my life, and anchor that thought, which becomes a belief, which becomes my experience. But I also say feel it before you flip it. Feel it before you flip it. Feel everything that went into that soil. There's a process that I use in my coaching that's all about this very thing, using whatever was in there, right? Whatever is in there in your past, in your experience, using that as part of the fuel for the transformation, to value that dirt. Love the dirt, love yourself, value the process, value yourself. You're going to get a little dirty on your way to the bloom. It's okay. Just don't let the dirt hold you back. You got this. It's time to bloom.
The woman of the past who inspired me the most is a woman you never would have heard of unless maybe you're a friend of mine and heard me tell the story about my grandmother. Her name was Elizabeth, and she was born March 10, 1889. She was trained as an opera singer and classical pianist, and as a young woman, along with her two brothers who played violin and mandolin, they would entertain for various occasions and events. She married a man 16 years her senior on March 17, 1917. She had 4 children, one of whom was my mother. During the Depression, she was widowed with children ranging from age 5 to 15 to take care of. She was a model of strength on many levels as she kept the family together. In 1951, after a diagnosis of a terminal illness, she moved into my mother's house and we were roommates until I moved out shortly before getting married. She spent the rest of her life living part of the time with me and part at my mother's. She considered herself to be a Catholic, although she rarely attended a Mass. However, she prayed daily, used the rosary as a form of meditation, and believed that it wasn't just through what you believed, but by your actions that you were a, quote, good anything. She was also spiritually based and taught that as long as it was a path of love, it was good. She supported and encouraged me whether I decided I wanted to become a nun or explore other paths. She would tell stories about things like walking with her father in the cold, seeing her breath, and him telling her to try to catch her breath. And when she couldn't, he said, "That's your spirit, and your spirit never dies." And because of that, she believed that life never ended, and also believed in reincarnation. It turned out that even though her father was Catholic, philosophically he was a theosophist, and that became her spiritual path. She was very artistic and more than just a bit eccentric, and could at any time break into a song or dance, often wearing some kind of mask or costume. She read voraciously, always seeking more knowledge, spoke a few languages, and was trying to learn Spanish in her 90s. She could carry on a conversation with anyone, whether it was the Jehovah's Witnesses who showed up at the door or an Air Force general at a social event. She was a wonderful example of showing kindness, compassion, and empathy to everyone and everything, believing as the scripture in Hebrews 13:2 says, "Do not forget to show hospitality to strangers, for by doing so, people have shown hospitality to angels without knowing it." I mentioned earlier that she was given a terminal diagnosis, but I didn't tell you the prognosis. If you did the math, you know that was when she was 62, and the prognosis was that she had 2 years to live. But crediting her spiritual path along with practices she adopted in the 60s of mind over matter, the positive power of positive thinking, and eating foods that were what she called magnetic, or that had positive energy, she lived until she was over 98. With the void that she left in my life, I asked for guidance because I was searching for something that would be in alignment with the life-changing example she had set. I was drawn to New Thought, which had been life-changing for me and been my primary path for almost 35 years.
Divine love, moving through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God, for the good in my life. So knowing that we give from a grateful heart, we always want to be in that energy of gratitude. So sing along with me and feel into what you're grateful for this morning. I am thankful, so grateful in this moment right now. Yes, I'm thankful, so grateful right here, right now. Think of what you're grateful for this morning. I'm thankful, so grateful in this moment right now. Yes, I'm thankful, so grateful right here, right now. And in this energy of gratitude, I speak this word saying, thank you, God, for this beloved community. Thank you for all of our many blessings, for our friends and our families and our beloved community of the Carolina Center for Spiritual Awakening. Thank you for each and every person giving of their time to volunteer and be part of the service or help to put the service together. Thank you for each and every person sharing of their financial abundance to this beautiful center. Thank you to each and every person being part of awakening humanity to its spiritual magnificence and continually doing the work that we need to do to awaken to our own divine potential in every moment, every new moment, a continual awakening. I'm so grateful for my life, for the love that's in it, for my health, for this day. Thank you, God. I am thankful, so grateful in this moment right now. Yes, I'm thankful, so grateful right here, right now. Sing that with me. I am thankful, so grateful in this moment right now. Yes, I'm thankful, so grateful right here, right now. Oh, right here, right now. Thank you, God. All right. So we have another wonderful service in store for you next week following service. Let me just remind you, even though it was in the announcements and you're going to see the announcements again, I'm going to tell you right now, don't miss out on Reverend Renee Laboa sharing a workshop after service next Sunday. So join us for that, and I'll be sharing a talk during the service, but she'll be leading the workshop after. So join me in our closing song if you would. We let the love wash over us. We let it be. We let the joy. We let the joy wash over us. We let it be. We let the peace, feel that peace washing over. We let the peace wash over us. We let it be. We let the love. We let love you, we bless you, and we thank you. Have a fantastic week.